Turn on Anxious at Bedtime.
Hello, and welcome to Anxious at Bedtime, the podcast.
We're probably fine.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Cash,
And I'm Monica,
the other host.
the other one.
The other host. So, what you got that's new?
Not much, actually. It's been a very slow week, but I do want to say that now that I've had some sleep and I've looked into the Blue Origin stuff more, I'm fully on board that it is not real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that I don't think so.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I think that's all fictional.
Yeah, and the symbol thing was super weird.
I told you.
I kind of wasn't expecting it to be much, but yeah, no, that was weird. And if you haven't seen that, we posted a picture of it on our Facebook page.
Oh, we did.
It's so creepy. Yeah, that's a fun rabbit hole to go down to if you're trying to rabbit hole down stuff.
It's really entertaining, too, how many people are just fighting it, and it's so fun. So
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's crazy.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho goose. What about you? Anything new?
The Pope died.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happened.
today.
But yeah, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, though. So, there's it's maybe not a conspiracy theory, but there's a, what are those things when people predict the future?
Prediction?
Kind of. Yeah, like an oracle, but a prediction, where they said that this was going to be the last pope before the end of worlds.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. This was a guy that predicted shit back in, like, the Renaissance era, like 1100s and shit. He predicted the names and, like, where one of the popes was going to be born, like, hundreds of years in advance, and he was accurate. It's wild. So we'll see what happens, man.
How much time is there between popes?
So they have the funeral within like 3 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 9 days of mourning, a few days of voting. So it's like 3 weeks or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got 3 weeks to see if there's the Armageddon or what.
Well, that'll set up not next episode, but the episode after.
Does it have to do with 7?
Yeah,
Oh, wild, huh?
that's what I was going to say.
Isn't that wild? That goes in hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's why I was bringing it up, man. And that's crazy.
I won't spoil anything now, but like I said, not next week, but the week after, we will be doing an episode covering a rumor about the end of the world. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, this sets it up in a scary way.
And if you don't believe in the end of the world, and if you do not believe that time is linear either, this could just be like a parallel dimension or a dimensional shift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like every other time they say it's the end of the world, it could be something where it's the end of that part of the, you know.
Yeah, and we'll dig into that a lot deeper in that episode for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I've got. Like I said, it's been a very slow week, just bopping around, trying to get stuff done.
Besides the Pope dying, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a
well,
pretty
yeah,
slow week.
besides that, I meant, like, other than that, I didn't really see much news stuff at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen much. Much relevant, you know, at least.
Yeah,
At least relevant to this.
the
Let's put
paranormal
that
world.
there.
Yeah. I just don't think I've seen any news articles, period, in the past few days at least.
Makes it kind of nice and relaxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but weird. But we're not here to talk about my social algorithms.
Oh, we're not? No, not at all.
Welcome back to Anxious at Bedtime. This is part 3 of our Ouija board series.
Oh, shit. Number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, we're actually doing it.
Yeah, and we're still not done yet, baby.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
We got, what, like 103 of these?
yeah. Left to
okay.
go, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh
No.
shit.
No, we have 2 more.
Ooh,
After this
2 more.
episode, 2 more, yeah. Next week will just be fun, you know, a little lighthearted. Well,
A
not
little
lighthearted.
break in between.
Yeah,
Okay, I dig it.
a little different than the research. And then the week after, like I said, we're discussing the end of the world, but it's Ouija board related. So
I don't know if this is being edited out in post or not, but it's pretty cool. If you don't cut this out, then everybody's finding out almost the identical time as me of what's coming up on Anxious at Bedtime.
nope, I've been telling you this for 3 weeks. You just don't retain it as well.
We're finding out here and now. Same time.
But yeah, so that's our next few weeks planned out.
I didn't know it was 5 fucking weeks. My lord.
Yeah, a lot of Ouija board stuff, and I still feel like I'm barely scraping the surface. But
Oh yeah, we barely scraped the surface of anything on this.
yeah,
I'm not
and
gonna lie.
I can't keep doing episodes and on this. I feel like it's starting to get like, we need a break from Ouija board. That's why this week is a little bit different.
Ooh, what is it?
This week we are sharing stories.
Ooh, I feel like we share stories every week.
Well, we know some of you might be curious or even tempted to try a Ouija board for yourself.
I myself am not.
So, before we get into the really spooky stuff, just a reminder, we covered some of the most well-known rules for playing in part 2. If you're planning to dabble, we highly recommend giving that episode a listen first, just to cover your bases.
Maybe do a little bit more research too, and don't think that we are not at all experts.
No.
We did brief overviews of the subjects.
Very brief.
I did actually no overview. I just heard some stuff sometimes and retain a little bit, not much, as you just heard.
Yeah. And we mostly just discussed like the most common beliefs and rules and stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there's so much more. And again, everything is so personal with it, so it...
Especially, I gotta believe it changes by region, too.
Yeah, it goes so deep. I could research this forever, but like I said, we're not doing that to all you. So, we're not here to tell you not to try it, although maybe don't.
I mean, it's your choice, but we are not advocating.
Yeah. But if you're going to mess with the spirit world, we want you to go in with as much knowledge and as much protection as possible. Because while some sessions might seem like harmless fun, others, not so much.
Not so much.
So now that we've said our piece, let's talk about what can happen when things go very wrong. These are real stories of Ouija boards gone terrifyingly sideways.
Ooh. Did the Ouija board just go sideways, or does the whole story?
The whole story.
Okay, because if it was just the Ouija board, dog.
Most of these I'm going to read as anonymous because I forgot to see if we could share names or not. So we'll
Fair
make
enough.
up a name. Well, no, we won't even make up a name. They're all anonymous, okay? So story 1. When I was 13, I went on an overnight camping trip with some girls from school. We stayed in an old cabin that belonged to one of the girls' grandfathers. We played with the Ouija board and asked all the usual middle school questions.
That's already where it went wrong. Old cabin,
Yeah.
Ouija board,
In
other
the middle
people.
of the woods. It's like that meme I sent
didn't
you.
even put that in there, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying other people. All of this sounds like a straight up bad time.
But there
Go
was
on.
a Facebook meme going around where it said, like, secluded cabin in the woods, like, peaceful, quiet, be alone. And then it showed a windy boy posting it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needed some friends. That's all. He was just trying to make, some companions.
Yeah, he might have been, but
It's not me, though.
no.
Hard pass.
Now, where was I?
Oh, they were in a cabin?
Yeah.
In the woods.
Playing the Ouija board. When we started to get some movement and asked who were we talking to, it spelled cookie. What?
Ooh, it would have had me. I'm a fat kid.
I think the entity was saying its name is Cookie.
Yeah, still. I'd be like, ooh, the food is talking.
Well,
It's calling my name.
it wasn't a cookie.
Oh.
Turns out that... Oh, okay. I didn't...
Read these.
I read them, but I read them when I asked for stories like 2 months ago. So I didn't remember this ending. But turns out that was what they called the girl's late grandmother.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Holy
Was she making
cow.
cookies at least?
No.
Oh.
Well, grandma maybe,
That's
making
what
cookies.
I'm saying. That's the purpose. Why else would they call her Cookie? Unless she made delicious cookies.
That's a good grandma name.
Bro. I would have... I got to get the answer. Did you ever call her back and ask for, like, the recipe at least? Because there's a reason she was named Cookie, right?
You're so silly. Then she says, it freaked us out so bad we had to go to the outhouse in a group.
Hold on. Like, to hide?
No, like when they had to use the restroom, they all went
okay.
together.
Yeah, because if they were going out there to hide in a group, that sounds terrible too. That sounds
Yeah.
worse than the Ouija.
That sounds scary. But no, I would definitely go in a group too to use the outhouse.
Yeah, and anybody who listens to this and has listened to a few episodes know I don't like the stanky.
Yeah, that's
1
true.
out of 10, no.
But have you gone camping like that with an outhouse?
Ooh, no. I'm not a camper very much, no.
You went once with me, but in a cabin, it's so scary. And there's something even more jarring about leaving a cabin and then being out in the middle of the woods to go to the
Yeah, dude,
bathroom.
I want that cabin to have a bathroom in it.
Yeah. Every year in FFA, I went to like an FFA camp for officers, and it was like that where you had to walk in the middle of the night. And oh my gosh, I remember this one year, there were a few of us girls that were going to the bathroom before we all went to bed, and so we were walking together, but we're all spread really far out, and I was in the back, and I heard like something running through the woods really fast, and all of the girls in the front screamed. Oh my gosh, I swear my body left my soul that night, but it was just a big deer.
In situations like that where I hear everybody scream and start like moving and running,
Yeah.
I get the feet of Jesus. I'm fucking out of there, bro.
I couldn't. I froze.
No, there ain't no way. I'm not asking no questions. I'm out of there. I'll ask questions with anybody who's running at my pace. Like, why are we running?
That's fair.
If they slower, like, I'm not going to hear the response. I'm partially deaf.
That's fair, yeah.
If they're faster, I'm not going to hear the response either. Like, I can't hear. I'm trying so hard. Yeah, no, but I'm getting out of there. Hell no.
Yeah, it was scary out there.
And if I found out it was just a deer, I'm yelling at the person that made me start running.
Right? But also, I would scream if a deer ran out at me too and I was in the front of the pack.
I'd be like,
sure I
oh
would.
shit. Like, that'd be my response. I told you about that time me and Tim were walking and we thought it was a fucking bomb, like a
Yeah.
plane diving toward us. And I was like, oh shit. And we kept walking.
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
You're
I thought
calm.
we were being bombed. Like, that something was gonna, like, that was a plane diving straight at us.
It was a bird.
Well, you know, he said your response was just shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck
Aw,
am I gonna
shit.
do? It was coming right at us.
Yeah.
To be fair, I wasn't just tripping on a bird. There was a lot of talks about there was supposed to be some, you know,
Oh yeah. It was
activity. We're in close proximity to a lot of airplanes that have to do with the military, so you know, there was a lot of talks where they were gearing up to be extra protective. So then
Yeah.
I saw this thing coming at us, bro, and that bird was wilding. I swear, it wanted all the smoke.
seemingly so, yeah. But you know what? At least the spirit that they talked to was somebody's grandma.
That's fair. I'm sorry, we got derailed.
Yeah, we got a little derailed. But so that's good. At least it wasn't a super scary experience. It was just, I'm sure, scary having response in general, especially being so young.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nerve-wracking.
The next story, I found an old Ouija board in my grandma's house. So again, a grandma. Also, there's something so jarring about finding something like that in your grandma's house. I know it's
No.
kind of like not a crazy weird occurrence because, you know, it was popular in the 60s,
Yeah, it was
70s.
a game. It was a regular game back then.
But that, I think now, as like a kid, would be so jarring.
Well, that's just because you watched all the fucking scary movies where
Yeah.
they find it in the attic and
all
something
that stuff
terrible
that made
happens.
it infamous, yeah.
If those movies didn't exist, you'd be like, "Oh shit, what's this? Sorry."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this about? Okay, a new type of Scrabble where you don't lose all the pieces.
Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. It's like
The porcelain dolls.
kind of, yeah,
The
like it's
porcelain
innocent,
dolls,
but
yeah,
something
they're-
about it is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even as a kid before the movies were around, you're like, those things are a little fucking weird. They're a little creepy, but you still passed them, no problem, taking a second glance or something.
Yeah.
And then the movies came out, like, what's that one, Annabelle?
Mm-hmm.
And then now people walk by them and they're like, fuck, that thing's possessed. It's watching me. And they fucking, oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrifying now.
Speaking of haunted dolls, when I was a kid, I had this little baby doll that I don't remember being super close with it, but I remember it freaking me out when I was like older. Apparently, it was like my toy, when I was a kid. But Nana, my grandma, reached out to me the other day and was like, "Hey, do you still want Tommy?" That was his name.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's been like 30 years. Where has he been this whole time? Just locked up. I don't know.
He's been under the bed.
I kind of feel like she's like, "I'm tired of being haunted by this thing. Do you want it back?"
She's like, can we set him ablaze? This thing keeps talking to me at night.
Oh
keeping
my
me up."
gosh.
He keeps asking, where's Monica?
He keeps asking, "Turn on anxious at bedtime."
Ooh, that'd be cooler.
But I have been wanting to get a haunted doll for the recording room, so maybe.
Oh, no.
No.
We don't need your fucking childhood doll that
No.
crept you out.
I want like a porcelain clown doll.
Crept you out? I don't know. That's the right verbiage.
Creeped me out? Crept out? I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds weird. I see what you mean. But no, I want like a porcelain clown doll, like a jester.
Yeah, that's different. That's cool. I used to have some of those.
Yeah. But I haven't found one that says haunted yet.
In the clown museum, or no, the clown hotel does not sell them. They take
No.
donations. They don't sell them though.
Yeah, except for that giant one, right?
I don't think they were selling that. They were selling stickers and pins and bottle openers, a bottle opener, keychains, shit like that, coffee cups, T-shirts. But the clowns, the actual clown figurines, nah. And the
Yeah.
statues, they said no. Art, no.
We tried.
I did.
But if you find yourself in possession of a haunted doll that you don't want, a haunted clown doll, you can mail it to them and they keep it.
They present it. They
Yeah.
put it on one of the shelves. They'll find a spot. They never get rid of them.
Back to the story, though. We made it one sentence in before we got derailed.
Shit. Sorry, ADHD.
I found an old Ouija board in my grandma's house. My cousin and I decided to mess around with it. We didn't know you had to say goodbye. I still see shadows to this day, not the Hat Man yet.
Ooh.
Oh, and my cousin died a few years after we played. We were 9 and 12. A few of those shadows have even tried to touch me, and that freaked me out bad. I could distinctly see what they looked like.
Okay, on one of these next episodes, we might have to, do some research and figure out how to get rid of those, because that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I see shadows on the road sometimes, and I'm like, oh shit, what is that? And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine if they're touching you and they're
Right.
also around you.
That's so scary. Very sorry that you experienced that.
I'm sorry for your loss of your cousin. I hope it
yeah.
had nothing to do with it.
Me too.
I wonder if a solution is like getting a new Ouija board and saying, hey, sorry, goodbye.
Right? I've always wondered, could you close it out with, like, after the fact like that?
Right? And even a different Ouija board, because
Yeah.
whatever it's, obviously it's repetitive, so it's drawn to you. It's not just that Ouija board, unless, that Ouija board was the only portal. I'm sure there's got to be a type of way with a different Ouija board. It's not, Hollywood movie.
Right?
We have to track down the original Ouija,
That'd be wild.
like the Dracula of the boards.
Yeah.
You burn the first one, you burn them all.
That would be interesting, actually.
That'd be fucked up.
Yeah. Especially if, like, you didn't know what was happening and you just had a Ouija board in your house and all of a sudden it went poof.
All of a sudden, all the fucking Ghostbusters bust in. They're like, we gotta burn your fucking board. And you're like, what the fuck are
No.
you talking about? And it's in your attic. You have no idea it even exists there.
Oh my gosh.
Like, why are all these people here?
That'd be crazy.
There's a bunch of angry people and floating fucking shadows behind them. I'd be like, this is a wild fucking Wednesday, dude.
Yeah.
Like, somebody get their phone out. What the fuck?
No, but I meant, like, if you burned the original and it got rid of all
I know,
of the
imagine.
others. Yeah.
Like,
and
you're
then
in the
yours-
middle of playing and it just...
Yeah.
What the fuck? I think we asked the wrong question. This one's broken. How do we get a hold of them?
Ugh. But, no, seriously, I'm sorry that you have to experience that, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Absolutely.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Story number 3. I used to go to a small town Christian school, and whenever kids would bully me for being pansexual and a furry, I would just whip out a Ouija board and say, you wouldn't make me want to contact my friends, would you? And pretty much had everybody obeying me for half of high school. And that's one way to do it.
What? You did what now?
I feel like, yeah, that's a good way to get a bully off your ass. Just pull out a freaking Ouija board.
I myself would have been like, no, fucking do it. Let's see. What you got? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
That's
I
fair.
want to see if that shit works. Hurry it up.
I don't
Any-
want to be
hey,
involved, but I'll be over here watching.
Heard you need at least 2 people. I need a volunteer, at least one more. Oh, it's not me. But one of you fucking people go. We would have to, yeah, that one, I'd have to test your gangster.
I think it's not a bad idea, though. Maybe I should start carrying just the board in my purse.
Anytime you're being robbed, oh my God, somebody's
No.
going to give your fucking purse right back. They're going to rob you, fucking go to check your wallet and be like, what the fuck? And give it right back. Bro, you guys are welcome.
Yeah.
Fucking credit me. Just a little. Just a little.
Yeah,
Just a
that's
little.
not a bad idea. Start keeping one visible in your car, one visible, like, in your windows of your home.
You might have some vandalism to your car depending on where you live and how they react to that kind of stuff too.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
probably don't have an exposed one, but in your purse is, I mean, one, if you got one of the like good ones, it's made out of wood. You smack the shit out of somebody, it's like a weapon. And
Yeah.
if they make off with it, they're like, "What did they hit me with?" and it's a fucking Ouija board, bro, you're getting your purse back and your Ouija.
Yeah.
Planch it. Don't take that shit with you. Leave that shit at home.
Yeah,
Just
don't.
keep the hard-ass board in there.
That's a good plan.
I'll even fucking make Ouija. Can you reach out to me and see if we can fucking combo up this idea for a fucking self-defense purse version? What's up, player?
Oh my gosh. That would be wild.
It's your own self-protection Ouija. You want to summon my purse? I'm going to summon a fucking spirit. I'm going to summon your fucking spirit. You take my purse? Oh, man.
Summon your afterlife.
I'm going to summon that ass. You know, we can get this commercial going.
Oh, good gravy. The next story we have. My aunt decided to fuck around and find out with one, and somehow something got attached to me as a baby. It followed me for a very long time. It used to blast my stereo at random times, and the things it did were just wild. My mom always warned me never to use a Ouija board because of that, and I've passed that warning on to my kids. We won't even say its name now. There's even a band I can't listen to anymore because of it. My life was a nightmare until it finally went away.
What band?
I don't know, I didn't ask.
Oh, shit. Now that's going to bug me.
I didn't want to dig into the bad memories if they didn't want to share it right off the bat, you know?
That's fair. Maybe they're not allowed to say it.
That too.
Yeah.
But that's terrifying. And that's another thing to think about if you ever play Ouija, is it could affect people around you too, not just you.
It's absolutely true, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be considerate of those around you and the other people in your life. And yeah.
Yeah. Next, this one's a short little one.
Oh, they all have been.
Well, even shorter. We have never had anything come through on a Ouija board. I used to be a ghost hunter, and we've even tried using the board in famously haunted buildings. It's just a board game for kids 8+, really.
All right. So, some people it don't work for.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Especially because if they're ghost hunters, they want to have that experience. And nothing.
Maybe the ghosts are like, you guys are pros. Work for it.
Maybe.
We're not going to make it easy.
But see, that's that weird contrast where why for some people does it not work, and then for other people they have these terrifying experiences, and then some people it's just, oh, Grandma Cookie is saying hi, you know?
Yeah. Like when we were at the fucking hotel and we were talking to the ghost tube and it tried to get us to get the Ouija board.
I talk about that later, yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
It's okay.
You guys will find out a secret later.
Yeah. The next story. I was using the board with friends one night years ago. It spelled out under, cellar, and mud.
Ooh, I would have thought wherever we were had a dead body under the cellar in the mud.
100%. I would have.
It did?
No,
Oh, shit.
that's 100% what I would have thought, and
Oh,
I would
yeah, I
have
would've
crapped
been
my
like,
pants.
Yeah, if I was playing at a friend's house, I'd have let go of that planchette and be like, ooh, your daddy's a killer.
Yeah. So
I seen this show.
yeah.
You better check that fucking cellar. They'd be
Ugh.
like, we live in a trailer. I'd be like, that's fine. It's under this
Yeah.
bitch.
Under somewhere. Find the cellar.
There's something under here.
Yeah. Terrifying. But it goes on to say, we went down to the cellar.
Oh,
and-
they did have a cellar. Fuck.
Yeah, they did. And eventually discovered she had a gas leak. Whatever spirit it was, we were grateful. True story. I do know the house was haunted. It was built in the early 1900s, but nothing else with the Ouija board ever happened. Isn't that crazy?
So it's one of two things. It could be the gas leak, or it could be somebody warning them of the gas leak. Absolutely.
I think it was somebody warning them of the gas leak, because why would a gas leak hallucination make them go look for the gas leak, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But that's so crazy. But again, another instance of a good story where the spirit helped them.
That's true. Just like Mothman.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Mothman.
Maybe
you
it was.
conjured Mothman, and he's like, look, dude, I'm real fucking busy with this bridge. Go check the basement. Or cellar, whatever you call it.
And that's why there are rumors that you have to have a candle lit, because moths are attracted to flame.
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh, fuck, they really need me.
Huh. It's
There's
like the
just
bat
hella
signal.
Mothmen out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they just respond to Ouijas.
Hmm.
Oh, we got a new conspiracy. I'm not dismissing that you guys summoned or spoke to anybody besides Mothman. This is just
No,
fun.
we're kind of, just being
I'm kinda
silly.
dumb.
But Nova, if you're listening.
Bro, grab your Ouija, go down to the garage, and summon your fucking next boyfriend.
Your bae. See what he's been up to.
Well, let's see if the next story tells us that it's Mothman too.
Okay. Ever since I almost died, I've had something following me. I've tried to use spirit boards, But whatever this thing is, it keeps all the other things away. It doesn't like me seeing it, so it stays in the next room. It seems protective. Instead of talking to me, it talked to others and scared them. One ex-friend was followed home by it. He said it turned all his cats feral. I never heard from him again. That's weird.
I don't think Mothman's ever been known to turn cats feral.
Oh, yeah, so...
Women, yes, but cats, no.
So at least this one, definitely not Mothman, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe our Mothman theory's out.
This is an extra protective spirit. I wonder what that one is.
I
What
just
that could
wonder if it's protective in a good way or a bad way.
be. Or both.
Like maybe that friend...
Very possessive.
Yeah, but maybe that friend wasn't a very good friend, and so it got them out, and you just didn't know they weren't a good friend for whatever, like when something was happening, you know? Or is this thing just
But why mess with
bad?
their cats? Maybe they were a terrible cat owner too.
maybe,
Why
I
am
don't
I
know.
fixated on the cats? I don't know.
Because you're a great cat dad, so you're worried about the cats,
Yeah. Like, why's it gotta fuck with the animals?
right? Unless,
Anyways, yeah, again, another example of how it could fuck with the other people and things in your life, not just
yeah,
you.
exactly. But maybe it didn't intentionally, like, fuck with the cats. Maybe it just showed up in the house, and the cats were, like, freaked out because there was a spirit.
Yeah, but maybe there's a residual because if they turned feral, did they stay feral? I don't know. They don't talk to this friend. Who knows? But if this friend that knows the stories about them is listening, tell me about the cats, dude.
Yeah.
What happened? I'm sorry.
It's so weird. No, before we move on, it's also crazy that it happened after they almost died.
I don't think that's that crazy. I think you get a little bit more tied to the spiritual world when you
Yeah.
come close to it. So
But it's like, were they in, again, it takes me to a place of Insidious. Were they in, like, that in-between place and something attached to them?
And if it is, probably just go get a cleanse or something. I don't know how that goes either.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
All this episode is teaching me is that we really don't know anything.
Oh, I've known I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do know, that I don't know shit.
Okay, well, the next story. Now, this one is from somebody named Luna.
Sup, Luna? Thank you for the submission.
Thank you. The first time I ever did a Ouija board was when I was like 11. It was me and 2 of my friends.
What is with all these kids, man?
Right? Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
I've never used a Ouija board to this day.
My mama would have punched me in the face. Bop! Get that out of my house.
Yeah, my poppy, oh my gosh.
Now she'd be
wouldn't...
like, Bop! Why didn't you invite me?
Yeah. My poppy wouldn't have done that, but I feel like I would have gotten, like, banished from the house for a little bit, go say some prayers.
You would have stayed down in the garage, in a doghouse, in a cage,
Yeah,
so they
in
couldn't
a
get to you.
cage.
Or Palo
No.
Santos.
Yeah,
around.
throwing holy water.
Yeah.
Not really. This is just jokes.
And a sprinkler.
A sprinkler.
Constantly going.
Okay, back to the story. It was me and 2 of my friends. We'll call them Katie and Taylor. Katie's older sister, we'll call Lauren, and her friend, we'll call Sam, had us come upstairs.
They sound like terrible influences, but go on.
Yeah. Lauren and Sam had a talking board. Basically, it was a super girly looking Ouija board with a kitty on it. Katie, Taylor, and I laughed, but we said okay. We all put our fingers on the piece, and it very quickly started moving across the board. It spelled out, run.
I would have.
I'd be like, yes, sir.
Oh, well, I would have been like, hold on. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or told everybody, like, somebody's got to stay and say goodbye.
My friends and I freaked out and yanked our hands back. Lauren and Sam burst out laughing. They said they moved it to scare us. Katie started yelling at them as they continued to laugh at us. Then, the bathroom light turned off. It made us all jump as it was the only light we had on. Then, it turned back on. Taylor spoke up and said, okay, you got us, we're done. But Lauren and Sam seemed genuinely spooked. I don't like that.
I think that's the sign you should have had a candle.
I
was like, I don't like this bathroom light. Get a candle.
Maybe.
Then I'll talk.
That is weird. There's something so scary about messing with your only light source. You know? Like, I don't know.
I suppose. I do pretty good in the dark, though.
You do. I don't. Then, the planchette started to move towards me on its own. At this point, Katie, Taylor, and Lauren and Sam are all standing together opposite of me. I say, Haha, very funny. I saw that coming from a mile away. But when I looked at Lauren and Sam, all I saw was pure fear.
Did anybody at that point run? I would have taken that first fucking
Yeah.
word of advice.
Yeah. They had no color in their faces and were just staring at the planchette wide-eyed. Sam finally spoke up in a very shaky voice and said, "No, that's not us." And then Lauren very calmly said, "Guys, go now." We all took off downstairs. At least, yeah, they listen now. Oh,
I'm guessing nobody said goodbye.
oh shit. See, that's the hard part. That's how these freaking entities get you, because it's you get so scared you
Fucking
forget to say
tricksters.
goodbye. Yeah, it's very trickster. We all took off downstairs and out the front door. Taylor and Katie started yelling again, saying, "If that was you guys, cut it out and tell us the truth." But by now, Lauren and Sam are on the verge of tears and hyperventilating.
I swear, if they tell us that this Ouija board started fucking floating down the stairs, coming at them with the planchette.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, keep reading. And we'll
I
find
will.
out.
I glanced up to the bedroom window. I saw the light in the bathroom turn off, and then a small, black figure about my size sprint past the window. No one else was in the house. Lauren and Katie's older brother were both off at college. Their dad was still at work, and their mom had to run to the store and wasn't back yet. Katie and Taylor slept over at my house that night, and Lauren slept over with Sam. We never spoke about that experience to each other ever again.
Oh, I would have. I've been talking about it every time I saw him. Like,
See,
motherfucker,
That's what I don't. I mean, I
when are we going to
understand.
close that shit?
Yeah, but the friends that are just ignore it. No, I would be that annoying ass friend that's like, guys, we need to talk about this. Like the one in Pretty Little Liars and all those type of shows that are the fucking problem because they're like, we have to talk about it. That'd be me.
See, I keep a lot of shit quiet, but like a couple days later, I'd be like, bro, I'm not fucking tripping, right? That shit happened.
That's another part of it. Yeah, I'd have to make sure like that wasn't a dream or something, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be talking about that shit all the time, but I'd have to confirm that. It like not the next day. I'd have to give it like 2 days to solidify what I thought happened in my own head and then present that to them.
Yeah.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, motherfuckers, but you guys moved it the first time, and after that, we were possessed, right?
Yeah.
We were all being haunted.
Something that's
Like, we
crazy.
left that house, right? And like lights flickering, that fucking kid running through the window. Like, you guys all saw that. That I didn't dream it. Okay, that wasn't a movie.
Yeah.
Cool. So how do we just call it cool for a while, and if nothing happens, we're good? Or like what? Like, I'd have to bring it up a little and know our game plan.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to know what's next. And am I fucking tripping? Those are the two things, you know.
Exactly. But that's not even the end of the story.
Oh fuck.
It also wasn't long after that incident that Katie, Taylor, and I had a big falling out. I haven't seen or spoken to Taylor since. It's been about 18 years. Katie and I reconnected a few years ago on Instagram, and we chat every now and then.
Ask
So-
her.
Yeah, ask her. But so again, as we saw in the first part of the series, the Ouija board tears people apart.
Absolutely.
That is so weird.
Ask her.
And then email us.
Yeah, be like, hey, like, I'm not doubting you,
No,
but
not
I
at
want
all.
you, like, I'm vicariously living through this experience.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get resolution? Like, that shit happened, right? Like, you may not need this closure, but I do. Do me a solid.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do want to say. I don't know if we've ever really talked about that before, but if you send us your story, I know we're skeptics when we talk about episodes in general, but the listener stories, we believe you guys. Like, we have no reason to be like, oh no, that's bullshit. If you're telling us it happened. We go in with a very open mind.
I'm skeptical of my own shit, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I experience shit, I'm like, nah, that didn't happen. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
I believe it more when other people tell me shit. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. That's wild. That may sound stupid, but I'm like, oh, it's cool. Me, no. I'm like, nah, I'm tripping.
Yeah. But
So I get where you're coming from if you don't, but
yeah.
tell me.
So if you've
Ask
been
her.
wanting to send us your stories and you're scared because you think we'll judge you or not believe you or something, we'll believe you.
Send it anonymous.
Yeah, send it anonymous, whatever. We're here.
We're here.
I'm here.
I'm right here. I'm here all day. All day long. Right here. Right here. Come on, Brittany.
That's a Patrick Mahomes impression.
Yeah.
But
What do you got next, Trav?
so that's the end of that story. But the shadow, that gets me.
I wonder if it's the same shadow as the one that's following the person that didn't say goodbye.
That would be interesting.
It's like, hey, tell your friend I say goodbye.
Yeah. Huh.
Tell her close her book too.
Good gravy. But
What
no,
if they're the
there's-
same? What if this is one of the other friends? Ooh,
What do you mean?
you're telling the same story.
Oh, I think about that all the time. Because I was listening to a listener story. I don't even remember which podcast now, but a few days ago. And there was a story on there that I swear I've heard the other side of that story before. And it was so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be dope? Our podcast is reuniting old friends with
That
the
would be
same
cool.
story on our same episode. That's wild.
No, but there's something so terrifying about that means like an energy came out of the Ouija board, right? Or got enough strength that it could appear. You know what I mean? To be the shadow.
That's fair. Yeah, possibly.
I don't like that.
The contrast to the light because it is the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or it's like, that show Ghosts where that's its own special ability and it's like, this is what I can do for 10 seconds. Let's go.
That would be a terrible.
And it was just trying
Power.
to say, you left the light on.
Oh,
Reminder Ghost like the other one.
your dad gets mad when you leave that light on.
It was Mothman.
Ooh.
Like, ooh, light.
Okay, next story. This one is anonymous.
Anonymous has a lot of stories.
Yeah.
I like you, Anonymous. You're pretty cool.
I tried the Ouija board a couple years ago. I used to play it every night for a week or more with my 2 girlfriends. At first, I was skeptical about it and kept in mind the possibility that one of the girls might be moving the planchette. But every time we played, things got so believable that we got addicted to the thrill. Here are some of the things that made me believe this truly worked and got us in direct contact with the spirit.
Tell me.
During a round, we heard a man cough sound coming from the kitchen pretty loud and clear. All 3 of us heard it, and we were home alone. We once asked the spirit to spell its name, and he spelled, I'm not going to say it out loud, but it's a demon's name that starts with a B.
I always say it out loud, so I'm not going to say nothing.
Don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try and guess it.
It was our first time hearing his name, or even seeing it. We're Arab and not familiar with the Bible and the demons that it mentions. We were very shocked after looking it up. This is the worst encounter we had. One of the 2 girls got tired after 3 or 4 rounds and decided to lay down on the couch next to us. It only took her a little time to fall asleep. Me and the other girl kept playing when at one point, all that was spelled on the board is the sleeping girl's name.
If she started fucking floating, I'm going to lose it.
Oh my gosh. We ignored it and changed questions, but it kept going until we asked the spirit what he wanted from her, and it spelled out bleed. We asked where. It said nose, and the girl immediately jumped out of sleep, thinking she had a nosebleed because her nose felt very cold, but there was nothing.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, what the hell?
Maybe it was Mothman trying to warn her she was about to get a bloody nose, didn't want her to ruin her shirt.
But she didn't, so I don't know. The thrill is not worth it. When we'd wake up the next morning, dozens of bugs would be flying above the area where the board was.
Oh, yeah, fuck that. That's gross. I don't like bugs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to harm them, but they could stay the fuck away from me.
The electricity went down for days, and no one could figure out the reason. We moved out the next month. That is so scary.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh my god, I don't even know where to start with that one because every single thing was terrifying.
Oh, see, and that does explain Mothman again. He invited all his friends to party above the board.
Oh, the bugs.
Yeah, you caught
So,
up.
do you think? I think there's still definitely spirits and entities and demons and stuff that come through Ouija boards, but do you think there's also Mothman? Like he comes too?
There's cryptids.
Yeah, cryptids.
There's all different beliefs. Aliens.
Imagine if you, yeah, because people do believe you talk
Yeah.
to aliens.
Anything you can communicate with can come through it.
Anything
It's a
can
possibility.
answer. Oh, that'd be weird. But the fact that it spelled out a demon's name.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. This is going to sound dumb as hell. But a lot of the time when you talk about spelling out demons' names, I go back to the movie Dogma
Yeah.
and then the stupid ass show Supernatural.
That's where I go.
I'm like, hold on, who is this one?
Yeah, me too. It's a very, surprisingly, very informative show.
They have both taught me so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin Smith, for teaching me actually quite a bit in your amazing movies. And I hear there's supposed to be another Dogma.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah. Are they actually going to do a part 2 or just the re-release?
Ooh, I don't care. Whatever it is, I'm having so much fun with it.
Oh, yeah. But. So the nosebleed thing, do you think it was saying it wanted to give that friend a nosebleed, or
No.
do you think...
I think it was predicting it. I think that it was, signifying, hey, there's a nosebleed coming on. If she stays there, like, there was something going on with her.
Yeah.
Whether it's, she passed out and her energy source was free because they had a portal open. So it's trying to say, hey, she's about to get a nosebleed because something's trying to possess her. Like, there was something going on trying to warn her.
Maybe.
Like, I think that's what it was.
I kind of feel like it was saying it wanted to give her a bloody nose, and that's why she felt like her nose was cold, because it was, like, trying to hit it or something.
See, for such a fucking critic, I also see the, hope for the most positive shit. And you're
I
like,
know.
no, she was going to die.
Because I'm scared, and you're the optimist.
Eh.
Yeah. Now, next, we have a story from our listener, Christy.
Thank you, Christy, for your story.
Yeah, thank you. Christy was so, what's the word? Like, willing to share information, and she wanted to talk about her story. And you'll see in a second, it takes place, like, it involves a house. And she shared with me the address of the house and the county. And, like, she was like, here's all this information. You can look it up. If you have any questions, reach out. Like, she was amazing. Thank you, Christy. That was so cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But let's get into the story.
Let's go.
I have a terrifying story about a Ouija board. I actually got the Ouija board from an abandoned house, but that's just a detail. My friends and I took it to a local cemetery when we were teenagers and asked all the usual questions. Eventually, the planchette started moving very, very quickly in a circle. So that's weird.
What's that mean?
Yeah, we've heard the corners and figure eights, but we haven't heard anything about a circle.
Did you make the spirit throw that ass in a circle?
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be wild, huh?
That would be wild. It was moving quite fast, and we all kept looking at each other, accusing the other of doing it, but I don't think anyone was moving it. Finally, we got too creeped out and left. But that's not the really scary part. Years later, I was living in another part of the state, in a house that always felt uncomfortable to me. I just got the feeling of being watched, etc. One day, I had guests over, and we were drinking, and I brought up the Ouija board. We decided to play it for fun, nothing more. The guests were not the same friends that I had played with at the cemetery. So we asked the Ouija board, "Who are you?" And after a few moments, the planchette begins to spell something. I kept sounding it out with each new letter, and it just looked like gibberish. Finally, when it got to the R, I realized it was spelling cemetery.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I've been around since the cemetery. I've been trying to get your attention about your car insurance.
After the incident where it spelled out cemetery, the Ouija board was given to the Salem Witchboard Museum in Salem, Massachusetts, because we didn't know how to destroy it. I mailed it to them. What is also bizarre is we got the Ouija board from an abandoned house, and the board looked to be from the 70s. So it followed them. I do wonder, I don't think she said if it was the same Ouija board or not.
Dude, that'd be cool if it was.
Yeah, I should ask her.
Yeah, and did you say goodbye that time? Or
Yeah.
either time, honestly.
But do you think, remember how we talked about how you need to cleanse your board? Maybe something attached to the board and has just been there all these years.
Just following her around on the board. It's like, please close this, please cleanse this.
That'd be wild. But I like the idea of
It's either in or out. Let me in or out. Come on.
I like the idea of it being stuck to the board more than being stuck to her.
Yeah, just floating around wherever she goes. It's really just at the board. So when she goes to work, she does her thing. She's like, I really have a great time till I get fucking home.
Yeah.
She did say she felt uneasy about the house specifically.
Yeah.
So that is where she leaves her stuff. Let us know.
Yeah.
If you know.
If you know.
If you know, you know. You know?
I know. But again, Like I said, we're not here to tell you, like, yes, play with the Ouija board or no, don't play with a Ouija board. But here's another story of something following someone for many, many years. That's so scary. Even they, like, played it in jest, at least for sure the second time. It was just fun and games. And something still attached, like, I don't know, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And especially because it was so coherent, saying, like, hey, I know you from the cemetery. Like, you know me. Come on.
But that's all it said. Like, it was out of breath. Like, it's
Yeah.
been trying to say it for so long.
Oh.
Like, cemetery.
Yeah. So weird.
That'd be me if I was a ghost.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, you've been dragging me around since the cemetery. I just want to go back to my grave.
Yeah. But another fun part, I forgot to put it in my notes, but the house that she found the board in, there was all sorts of, like, random paperwork and letters from, who was it? I think it was, like, Eleanor Roosevelt. Like, a bunch of weird...
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, a bunch of weird stuff in this house. I'm not going to share the address just for safety. I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't. It's not her house. It was abandoned, but still.
It may not be now.
Yeah.
It's been years.
But just a bunch of weird stuff in that house. And she said they were only in it for a few minutes because they got scared, you know, because they were breaking into an abandoned house.
Yeah. And found Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yeah, and a Ouija board just that quick. They were only in there a few minutes and they found a fucking Ouija board. So I wonder...
It was trying to get them to play right then and there.
Yeah. Terrifying, first of all. But that's exactly what I thought. It was just out in the open, like, waiting for players. Nope, don't like that. In the scary abandoned house. But do you think somebody, like, had a bad experience with the Ouija board and dumped it there?
They ran out.
Yeah.
They
Or do you
played it
think
there and
they
they
played
ran
it
out.
there? Yeah. Because
Yeah.
why do you just leave a Ouija board in a house like that?
On top of a stack of pictures of Eleanor Roosevelt. Who knows?
Yeah. Like,
Probably
what?
not how it happened. That's just how I'm imagining it.
Yeah, I don't know. That one freaked me out. I've been thinking about it for so long.
I don't want to sound dumb, but I don't even know what the fuck Eleanor Roosevelt looks like.
Well, I said letters, but...
Oh, yeah. Even then, even dumber.
Yeah. I don't think I know what she looks like either. We'll put a picture in our Facebook post or something. Because I don't know what to post for this one, so...
Apparently, it's Eleanor Roosevelt.
Yeah, there you go. When you see her face, now you know why.
I think somebody probably got pretty scared, ran out on a Ouija board experiment
Yeah.
or experience, and our listeners stumbled upon it and took whatever was not said goodbye to the cemetery and probably swapped that out for someone at the cemetery.
Maybe it was for the
And then
best.
that cemetery was like, fuck, dude. You took me and left Bill over there. He's fucking chilling playing my card game.
No.
It was my turn.
Maybe, but at least it sounds like the spirit that attached to her, like, didn't cause too much mischief. Yeah, I don't know. That freaks me out.
Wild.
It sounds like the start of a scary movie.
It does, but at least it doesn't sound like the plot to one.
Yeah.
And the end is, it doesn't have the, what's that peak in a scary movie?
The climax.
Oh, yeah, the climax.
So, if you find yourself with a Ouija board and something seemingly attached to it, you can try to mail it to the Salem Witchboard Museum in Massachusetts.
Or this listener, and she knows where it goes.
Don't do that. Oh my gosh. Okay, next story. Now, this is another fun one. I mean, they're all fun. Don't get me wrong. I just meant the way I got it was fun. This one is from the host of another podcast called The Ghoulfriend Hour. And she told me when I did that first, like, throughout the net for, hey, does anybody have any Ouija board stories? And she said, I have a great one. We did an episode about it. Feel free to, like, take any information from that episode you want and, like, share it. So that was really freaking cool. So shout out to the Ghoulfriend Hour.
Hey, thank you for your contribution, Ghoulfriend Hour.
Yeah. I've listened to a few episodes now and I recommend it. It's very fun.
And maybe they'll accept your Ouija board.
Maybe. Stop trying to give people Ouija boards. Her name is Morgan Feza, and this experience was between her and her cousin Leah. The episode is called Cradle to the Grave. Okay, let's get into it. Leah had a slumber party, and one of her friends asked if she could bring a Ouija board.
I'd
Leah,
be like, no, probably not.
right? Like, no.
That's
it's
not
okay.
what I would do. Like, I was thinking, like, video games and, hella desserts and cookies
Yeah.
and shit. Not that lady's Nana, but, like,
Yeah.
actual food.
cookies, yeah.
So, probably no on the Ouija.
But that's not what Leah
That's you
said.
guys. Go ahead.
Leah didn't know any better, so she said she could. Her and all of her friends, there were like 7 or 8 in total, played it that night. Morgan didn't want to play, so at first she sat out.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But the Ouija board wasn't working, and I guess the planchette kept like moving towards her, but it wouldn't spell anything out.
I wanted the most scared one.
Yeah. Again, if you like have that fear, it feeds off it.
I'm saying.
So the friend that brought the Ouija board said everybody had to play or it wouldn't work. So Morgan put her hands on the planchette.
Be like, I guess we're having cookies tonight then, huh,
Right? I guess
motherfuckers?
we're done. Oy. They started out asking normal questions. You know, the who will I marry? Who has a crush on me? All that fun stuff.
I don't know.
Well,
I would not ask that. I'd be
that's
like, when are
fair.
we getting these fucking cookies?
I never played, but those are like the, you know, they remind me of that little game that you would play where you would like fold it up
Yeah, I don't know
and
what
like
it's called.
1, 2, 3, 4, you know? Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They started out asking normal questions, but eventually someone asked when the world would end.
Well, that's rude.
And the planchette moved over to the number 9, then 8, then 7, and all the way down to about 4. And then the girls got scared and they threw the planchette.
If I was Morgan, I'd be like, no, motherfuckers, put your hands back on this. We got to see where this goes.
Right?
It doesn't work without all of us. Let's go.
You forced
I'm
me
not
to
getting
do
my
this.
cookies. You're not getting your sweet night. You're not getting your sweet dreams tonight. You're gonna, you know?
Yeah,
The
we're
end.
seeing this through. No, but remember that was one of the things. If it starts counting down, it could mean there's a demon trying to get through.
Yeah. And I would have made it. If they robbed me of my cookies, I'd have been like, Mira,
Oh my god,
let's see
there
this
are
through.
no cookies. You were making up the cookies.
Still.
After that happened, they kind of like wrapped up a bit, you know. One girl went and sat on the bed, which was next to a window that looked out onto the street.
Real quick. So you think that when they asked when the end of the world was, that this demon was like, fuck yeah, this is my chance. 5, 4.
Kind of. That
Yeah,
was my
like, trying
first
to get in.
thought. Yeah. But it definitely could have also been either a demon trying to get out or it was like, I'm going to end it right now. Hold on, let me count down. And that's scary.
Either way, like, that's what it's saying. Like, here's your, oh, fuck yeah, here's my chance. And it's like, I'm going to end your world in
Yeah,
10 seconds.
That's kind of
Or
what I
end
think
of
it was.
the world or just theirs, you know?
Yeah. Either way, yeah.
Wild.
One girl went and sat on the bed, which was next to a window that looked out onto the street. She glanced at the window, and she became visibly upset, and she asked, "Is someone out there?" All the girls gathered at the window, and they could just make out the dark silhouette of something. Leah described it as a shadow figure, and she said she could just tell that it was looking directly at them.
It was some guy taking his dog on a walk and why are all these fucking kids staring at me? I want to stare back.
That would be definitely not as scary as a demon, but still kind of scary.
That's fair.
At about 3 a.m., Leah woke up to use the bathroom, and she saw Morgan. Morgan was sitting up, face pale, staring into one particular corner of the room. Leah asked her what she was doing, and Morgan said, "You don't see him?" Leah looked at the corner, and she saw the shadow figure from the street standing in the corner. So hopefully it was not just a man walking his dog.
Yeah, like who the fuck let that guy in?
Yeah, isn't that, oh my gosh. But so they kind of were able to just like, oh, like we're just imagining things, we're scared, let's go to bed. And they went to bed.
Yeah.
But the terrifying cherry on top was that as they were telling this story in the episode, Morgan's dog started freaking out and barking, and Leah's light started to flicker and then turned red.
And it's not a color changing bulb.
It was color changing, but it wasn't set on red.
Oh, that would have been cool if it was not color changing.
That would have, like, I would have left the house and never returned.
Not me. I would have filmed that and been like, I would have gone on TikTok live. I'm like, you guys, you fucking see this?
But no, it's definitely still weird. And like I said, it was the middle of the episode. They even stopped and like talked about it because it was, I don't know, that freaked me out, honestly, more than the story. The story's terrifying, but it was like it was trying to tell them, like, don't share this. Or something else was trying to say, don't talk about it.
Or he was like, I'm still here, bro. Like,
Maybe. Because that's, you have to listen to the episode. They go into so much more detail. There's even like the next morning, one of the girls' cell phones disappears. They search the entire house, tear everything apart. They can't find it. Somebody says, hey, let's ask the Ouija board, which, first of all, that's a red flag. Keep an eye on that, friend. But they ask the Ouija board, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was like T9 text. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so they're like, well, that's fucking weird. And then as they were talking about how weird that was, the girl looked down on the bed where she was sitting, and she was like, oh, my phone's right here.
It started ringing.
That, oh my God, I would have peed my pants.
And
But
then
yeah.
on the other end it said,
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
But then Leah and Morgan were like this room was haunted. That corner, I guess they were always made them uneasy. The corner was right next to a closet, and Morgan always
Whose
said she
room was
felt
this?
stuff. It was Leah's.
oh,
But-
yeah. So I would have just stopped staying the night there.
But so the way it was set up is they explain it really well on the podcast. But I guess it's like kind of like a house and the mother's house, you know? Like they're close together. And so that one house is where Leah lived, the other is where Morgan lived. And so they just beep bopped back and forth to each other's house all the time.
Yeah, I'd be like, so it's not even that far, player. Like, just over here instead of there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got a creepy guy in your closet.
But
I've
yeah.
got
Yeah, I've got not that, so
those corners that don't have possessions and demons. They're just regular corners.
yeah. But it was so bad that basically the first chance Leah got, she moved to the other house. She
with
was like,
her friend.
yeah, she was like, I
understandable.
can't stay in that house anymore or in that room anymore.
She probably enticed her. Like, I got cookies over here.
Yeah. And like I said, they go into so much more detail. There's another cousin. I don't remember his name right now, but he's also on that episode. He shares his own stories. He just wasn't at the girls' slumber party.
Understandable.
Yeah. But oh my gosh, so much scary stuff. I lost my train of thought, but terrifying. And the shadows freak me out so much. It's one thing to like be talking about a spirit and to be like, oh, having a fun little night, like playing Ouija board, still terrifying. I still don't recommend it, but I get it. And then to see something manifest, first of all, outside, I would be up all night in fear. Then to see it in your bedroom, oh my gosh.
How do you call the spirit police? Like,
Yeah.
this guy just broke and entered, and now he's just watching me?
Yeah.
I'm a child. Weirdo. Like, I'm definitely calling the spirit cops on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the heck?
That would have been me. Also, I don't, to each their own, absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do play with the Ouija for fun. I myself play Madden.
Yeah, you do. But see, that's another thing. Let me get comfortable for this.
Oh, shit.
So, I think I lean more towards the side that Ouija boards are scary. And I don't think I could ever bring myself to use one.
Oh, I know you do.
But then there's like professionals where the paranormal in this side of the world is their entire life and they have so much knowledge and wisdom, like Greg and Dana Newkirk, who firmly believe that Ouija boards are just a tool, that it's no different than ghost tube or pendulums or cell phones, and that it's all about the energy you put into it. And if you go in smart and calm and respectful, that's what you get back. But then there's so many stories where people go in like that, or just go in at all even, and so many scary, like so much scary, weird stuff happens. And then there's stories where like we didn't get into it, but people get addicted and they can't stop playing. Like all they want to do is go home and play the Ouija board. Or there's stories where people like unlock mental illnesses after playing the Ouija board. And so it's this weird, like, there's just two ends of the spectrum and not much in between.
So, you know how they've talked about a lot of different things can be manufactured in different ways, different people that have a hand in the manufacturing process. So that could be what it is with Ouija too. So sometimes you have the ones that are manufactured with good intent, that it's just a tool, a communication tool. Then you have some that are made with the intent of causing harm. And then you have some that are made with the intent of bringing positivity. So I think maybe the intention of how it was made also has a part in it. And, kind of like a gamble, Maybe not just your belief and your intent and how you use it, but maybe the manufacturing process plays a part in it. Because you could have people that are going into it with positive intent and trying to use it as a communication tool, as something toward their own benefit and to help benefit the spirit world, but it was manufactured to be a bad spirit board. So they're never going to have a fair draw at having a positive interaction. It was always manufactured to have a bad one. So it could have something like that.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And so it's kind of just luck of the draw.
Yeah, it's a gamble. It's not so much what you do, it's so much, not to say it's predetermined destiny, but maybe that has something to do with it. Is there's something built into that specific board that you don't have any control over?
Maybe. And then, even if you want to take that even a step further, like the tree that it came from, if that's from somewhere that like something dark happened, do you think that could even affect it too?
See, and that's a thing too. They are saying nowadays that they can tell that plants have feelings, that when plants are distressed, that they do let out a scream that humans just can't hear.
Oh,
So it could absolutely.
that's so weird.
Plant life could be sentient beings in a more realistic way than we figured before.
See, I just meant like if in this particular forest near this tree there was like a murder or something, but there's that too.
That's what I'm saying. Like if there was a
Yeah.
murder, so like,
Oh, and the
I mean,
plant
this is,
absorbed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why conspiracies are so fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where I stand. When I first started looking more into Ouija boards and learning more about this paranormal side of life, I kind of started, thinking it's a tool and I think I want to use it. Like, I think I could be open to using it as long as I go on with the correct mindset and all of that. But after reading all of these stories, I think I'm back to no thank you. But before I read all these stories, we were ghost hunting
Oh yeah, we were.
at the Geyser Grand Hotel in Baker City, Oregon a few weeks ago.
It's supposed to be haunted.
Yeah, I think it is pretty haunted.
It was all right.
We had okay luck. We'll do an episode on that in the future, but I have a lot of footage to get through first in audio, so. When we checked into our room, there was one of those binders with information about like local restaurants and different things you can do and shopping and all of that. But also with that information
Told us the VHS is in the lobby.
and a Ouija board in the lobby for guest use.
Oh yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah. So we were using GhostTube at that point. Well, that's really all we used. But we were using GhostTube and we were getting sporadic short answers, like not full sentences or anything. So I asked, if I go grab the Ouija board, would it be easier for you to talk? And the spirit responded with one word, grab.
So here's the part of our episode where we tell you our experience with the Ouija board. So we were told to go grab this Ouija board. So what we did was we actually fell asleep instead.
Yeah. Not
Pretty soon
immediate.
after that, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we'll talk about that more for sure in another episode. We did not use the Ouija board, but a spirit there was definitely trying to get us to do it, I think.
Tried to trick me. I said, hell no.
Yeah. So that was weird. So maybe it's just cardboard and plastic, or maybe it's something more. Either way, if you're planning to pull out a Ouija board anytime soon, maybe take a moment to think about what you're inviting in. If you've got your own terrifying story, or a time a board didn't work at all, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Feel free to email us at anxious@bedtimepodcast@gmail.com. You can send it to us on Facebook, TikTok.
Instagram.
Ooh, Threads. Yeah, we got some of those.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you so, so much for sharing your stories with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for allowing, really Monica to read your guys' stories and me to give some feedback on it. That was pretty cool of you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate it very much.
We are sorry for all the scary stuff that all of you have experienced. Hope things are going better now.
And having to hear my dumbass commentary to your stories. But thank you for listening to it. The world can be a scary place with a lot of different shit going on with Ouija. What is going on with Ouija and kids these days? Or I guess those days. But we're probably fine.
We're probably fine. Sleep tight.
Sleep tight.